Hello friends, welcome to the Plant Science Forum. In another video, we had discussed about the role of light, photosynthetic pigments, photosynthetic apparatus, photophosphorylation and Kelvin cycle, also known as C3 or PCR cycle. Now, I will be talking about the consequences and adaptation occurs in the dark reaction. Among them, now we are going to discuss C2 cycle or photorespiration pathway. In this video, we will try to answer these questions. What usually happens in normal conditions? What are the conditions for C2 cycle or photorespiration to happen? Why this process is called as C2 cycle or photorespiration pathway? Where does it happens? How does it lead to the carbon dioxide fixation? What are the consequences and significance of photorespiration? This is a very general representation for what usually happens in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis consists of light dependent reaction and light independent reaction. Light dependent reaction involves light mediated excitation of electrons from chlorophyll, where electron vacancy which is being created is fulfilled by the electrons liberated by the oxidation of water molecules, and oxygen is the byproduct of the reaction. The ATP and NADPH produced by the light reaction is utilized in the next dark reaction or light independent reaction, that is Kelvin cycle. In the Kelvin cycle, atmospheric carbon dioxide is absorbed and incorporated as the carbohydrates. Here ADP, inorganic phosphate, and NADP is byproducts, which is then enters in light reaction to get reduced. The plants in this biochemical process uses atmospheric oxygen and liberates carbon dioxide as what normally happens in cellular respiration, which is why it is called as photorespiration. In this pathway, enzyme Rubisco plays a key role. The full form of Rubisco is ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. In this process, when ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate reacts with oxygen in presence of enzyme Rubisco, the products of the reaction are phosphoglycerate and phosphoglycolate. This latter product, that is phosphoglycolate, undergoes the series of reaction as shown in figure. As this phosphoglycolate is prime product of the first step of reaction, this process is called as glycolate pathway. And as this glycolate is 2 carbon compound, it is also called as C2 cycle. When we are saying that in dark reaction, Kelvin or C3 cycle is normal pathway and C2 or photorespiration occurs in unfavorable conditions, then it is obvious to have the question that what are the required conditions for C2 cycle or photorespiration to happen. Everybody is aware that the enzyme responsible for the photosynthetic carbon reduction is Rubisco. Actually, during the evolution of Rubisco, its enzymatic activity, carbon dioxide concentration was much higher as compared to the oxygen. So, the enzyme Rubisco evolved with having affinities for both carbon dioxide and oxygen for the same active site without discriminating between the two gases. After billions of years, later oxygen becomes much more higher as compared to the carbon dioxide in terms of atmospheric concentration. As if now everybody must be knowing that normal air is consist of 21% oxygen. When it happens that Rubisco get environment with more oxygenic concentration, the affinity and activity of Rubisco enzyme get shifted from carboxylase to the oxygenase and it starts photorespiration. Another reason is the increase in the atmospheric temperature surrounding Rubisco. When air temperature rises, the solubility of gases in water declines, but oxygen solubility is less affected than carbon dioxide. So oxygen gets more concentrated surrounding to the Rubisco enzyme and thus Rubisco begins oxygenase activity. In a sense, C3 plants were the architect of their own problem. generating the oxygen that function as a competitive inhibitor of carbon reduction. Operation of the C2 cycle involves the cooperative interaction among three organelles: chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisomes. So this complex process of photorespiration occurred in combination with these three organelles: chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisomes. As you can see, the representation and representative location of these three organelles in a given slide. Actually, photorespiration, or say C2 cycle, or say glycolate pathway, it doesn't fix atmospheric carbon dioxide, as Rubisco is engaged with oxygen molecule. The ribulose bisphosphate reacts with oxygen. It generates 3-PGA, also known as phosphoglyceric acid, and 2-PG, 2-phosphoglycolate. The latter compound, 2-phosphoglycolate, is toxic to plant metabolism because it inhibits distinct steps in carbon fixing Calvin cycle. Therefore, plants employs so-called photorespiratory glycolate pathway, or C2 cycle, which degrades phosphoglycolate and converts the two molecule of phosphoglycolate into one molecule of each phosphoglyceric acid, carbon dioxide, and ammonia, where ammonia and carbon dioxide are formed in mitochondria and phosphoglyceric acid is regenerated at the last step in the chloroplast. The reaction results in the partial recovery of the carbon lost through oxidation. What actually happens during the course of reaction we will discuss in this next slide. When atmospheric oxygen concentration is more surrounding to the Rubisco and temperature is high, Rubisco shifted its affinity from carbon dioxide to oxygen. Then the 5-carbon substrate of the enzyme, that is ribulose bisphosphate, combines with oxygen and yields 3-carbon PGA, phosphoglyceric acid, and 2-carbon phosphoglycolate. The formed phosphoglyceric acid enters the Calvin cycle, leaving behind phosphoglycolate. This phosphoglycolate is toxic to the Calvin cycle operation, so plant decides to process the compound. In the first step, phosphate group is removed and the product is glycolate. In the next step, glycolate enters in the peroxisomes and get converted to glyoxylate. During this conversion, a small step oxygen cycle is operated, which produces the hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is again not suitable for plant system, so it gets transformed into water and oxygen by enzyme catalase. The glyoxylate formed get converted into amino acid glycine, which then enters into mitochondria for further processing. In mitochondria, glycine is transformed into another amino acid called serine by forming two important byproducts, ammonia and carbon dioxide. The ammonia produced get incorporated into the amino acid and carbon dioxide is released as a waste product of this reaction. Then serine enters the peroxisome and subsequently get converted into glycerate. This glycerate then enters the chloroplast and get converted into phosphoglycerate and enters into a Calvin cycle. The complex flow of reaction result in the partial recovery of carbon lost through oxidation. Means 100% complete recovery of engaged carbon doesn't happen. As the cascade of process begins with two molecules of 2-phosphoglycolate, that is 4 carbon, and ends with one molecule of phosphoglyceric acid, that is 3 carbon, while one carbon lost as carbon dioxide. By calculations, 4 carbon enters the cycle and 3 comes back. That means 75% recovery and 25% loss of carbon in photorespiration. One important consequence of photorespiration is that 1/4 of the carbon entering the C2 oxidative photosynthetic carbon cycle is released as carbon dioxide, and further calculations indicate that photorespiration lowers the efficiency of photosynthetic carbon fixation from 90% to approximately 50% only, because of which it is assumed that the photorespiration declines the crop productivity, whereas photorespiration signifies the helps in dissipation of energy where stomata get closed during the daytime because of water stress. Photorespiration protects the plant from photooxidative damage by dissipating excess of excitation energy. I hope you might have understood the topic. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.